to my colleague Effiong Ekop, who is standing by live from Marina, Lagos, to bring us up to speed with developments there. Effiong, it's good to see you again on the other side. Well, the last time we checked, inflation is above 21%. You're around Marina in Lagos there. What are the feelers? What are you hearing from people? How available is cash, and how well are they feeling the impact also of inflation?
Tolu, I'm here on Marina, a very busy street in the central business district of Lagos Island. Here you have many banks branches, and in fact some headquarters of those banks are located in this area. You have so many shops and eating houses, then filling stations. It is a very busy area of Lagos Island. But my interaction with many of them, I noticed they have they complain about two basic economic issues. This poor flow of cash into their businesses, and even the one that they hold on hand, very, very poor, and they complain a lot that the banks have not been able to satisfy them to the extent of withdrawing the exact amount that they would need for carriage of activities each particular day. Then on that, you have the issue of inflation. Inflation eating deep into whatever is in their hand, or even their business is not flowing very well. As you said, inflation is well above 21%. And a lot of this caused by food prices driven issue. And it is really disturbing. I went into a restaurant and I found out that the price of a plate of meal had increased over 30% between last month and now. And so they pass on all of these increases to customers. And the customers do not having enough money to pay, they are complaining. And they still want central bank along with the federal government to find a way to release more money into the economy. When we remind them of the policy of cashless, that you do electronic transfer, they try, but it is not everyone that is able to cope with that system. I think that over a long period of time, they will come to realization that the cashless system has come to stay in the Nigerian economy. Tolu?
Great stuff. In your report yesterday, you identified the fact that, yes, some little amounts were able to get 5,000, 10,000, but the bulk amount, maybe you only get like 100,000. I don't think that can happen anytime now. And some businesses need monies like this, small businesses, to run. What are you hearing along that line?
You know, here on Lagos Island, you have many big markets. Talk about Idumota market. You have merchants who trade in large scale with a very huge amount of money. They do not need 10,000. They don't need 20,000. You understand? And so those kind of people will outrightly tell you that they do not work with the current policy that the central bank is putting in. You know, withdrawing 20,000, 30,000 from the bank, it is, a pinch of salt in the water as far as they are concerned. So they cannot be able to do substantial, business in a particular day, with such an amount. And so that is something that will be left for the monetary authorities to tinker with, because they find it very difficult to cope since January and now, because they were used to withdrawing huge funds from their banks. So in the last 3 months, that has stopped, and it is creating a very big problem for many of them, to a point that some of them have offered to lock up their shops pending when all these issues are resolved. Could we go back to the inflation, Tolu?
Yes, stay with that. Yes, go ahead with inflation and what you've seen or what you've heard from business people. Yes.
Tolu, I find out that prices of every item that you can think of have doubled or tripled. Think of biscuits. We used to buy biscuits at the price of, say, 500 naira. If you don't have close to 700, 800, you cannot buy a packet of carbon biscuits. Then you talk about pure water. Here in on Lagos Island, pure water sells for almost 50 naira. Then the bottled water is about 150. As at January, you bought at 100 naira. So calculate the increment in all of this. And so it is really causing great problems for both the workers in many of these offices in the area and those who are opening the shops and selling these items. And it is a pointer to the fact that these are two issues worrying Nigerians at a larger extent. And so it's affecting the economy. The economy is really very tight. And unless we open up the economy, that the flow of money moves to where it is needed, I think that a point will come where unemployment will even be increased, that manufacturing companies will begin to let down some of its workers. Tolu?
Okay, finally, Ekop, now let's touch on the markets before you go. You are on the market streets, or you are there on the island. The figures we have today shows that the market is 1.50% up, still positive. Let me tell you some of the gainers. We have O&O, Suno Ashore, MTN Nigeria, Chip PLC, Lake Ashore. Losers for today, we have PZ, Charms, Unilever, Japol Gold, and ICO. Just tell me your views. The market is still positive despite all of these challenges.
I know that this is the third day that the market is trading in green this week. For about 2 weeks, we were in the flat territory. And so we move on. What happened is the incentive that majority of the shareholders are seeing in the shares of Zenith Bank. Zenith was able to report annual profits of more than 400 billion naira. And that's very great for shareholders who want to take part of that into their profit level. And so Stanbic IBTC had earlier given its own, it was equally good. So as we expect results of other banks and in fact other quoted companies, we believe that if the earning period brings huge dividend into the coffers and the accounts of shareholders, well, more money will be in their pockets and they'll be able to withstand this running inflation that is also eating into dividend fund of shareholders.
Effiong Ekop, thank you so much for your contribution on the program today. Effiong there, my colleague, market editor, live from Marina, Lagos there, where all happens. That's where we have all of the companies. Most of the headquarters are located in Marina along Victoria Island. They're bringing us up to speed, live reporting, real-time figures, what is playing out along that space.